Welcome to the Leadership and Learning Podcast with Dr. JBT, where we dive deep into the art of leadership for emerging and advancing leaders. Whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, this podcast is your go-to resource. We'll explore real-world scenarios, actionable solutions, and expert advice with insights drawn from Dr. JBT's own experiences and interviews with seasoned leaders. If you're serious about growing as a leader, you've come to the right place. Welcome back to Leadership and Learning with Dr. JBT. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite theories. Well, to be honest, I have a lot of favorite theories. Theories explain what we experience in the workplace and help us better navigate what's happening. So I'll probably say my favorite theory in many episodes. But for today, let's talk about emotional contagion. Emotional contagion is a theory that points out that emotions are contagious. It is really that simple. If a leader feels an emotion and that emotion is not regulated, then the team members begin to mirror that emotion. This can be good and bad. It starts with a leader recognizing the emotion they're feeling and knowing that the behavior that comes out of feeling that emotion. So for example, if someone is sad, then they might withdraw. If someone is enthusiastic, they might clap their hands together with a big smile on their face. Then it is about regulating that emotion, making it appropriate for that scenario. So this is self-awareness. Self-awareness used to be a nice to have for leaders. Now it is a must have and an expectation. And I firmly believe that if a leader lacks self-awareness, then they will not be effective. And I know that's a direct statement, but I believe it. If a leader lacks self-awareness, then they will not be effective. So let's start with understanding how this works. I am a huge fan of music, especially live music. And it doesn't matter what's happened in my life during that day or that week. When I walk into a venue with live music, I am happy. The people at concerts are energetic, enthusiastic, and joyful. And I catch these emotions when I walk in. My behaviors start to change in order to match my emotions. I start smiling and laughing. I swing to the rhythm of the music, and anyone looking at me will see my joy because of these behaviors, and then they will catch on. And I'm fine with mirroring these emotions because they're positive. Well, the same goes in the workplace. When I'm excited about something or enthusiastic, energized, or upbeat, my team will mirror these same emotions. On the flip side, if I feel overwhelmed, pressured, or angry, my team will also sense these emotions and mirror them. So it's a good theory when our emotions are positive, but when our emotions are negative, it can have a lasting negative impact on a team. As leaders, we have to lead through change and decisions that sometimes are not easy for our team members. As someone who drives a lot of change, I know this well. So I come in with energy and I look at the change as opportunity and show enthusiasm for what could be. And guess what? My team will start to mirror that same enthusiasm. But if I come into a situation where I have to announce a change and I'm angry, overwhelmed, frustrated with the decision, guess what? My team mirrors angry, overwhelmed, and frustrated. I remember a few years back when some of my team members shared with me that I have a special walk. Yes, I said a walk. A specific walk for when I was feeling negative emotions, pressure, disappointment, frustration, fear, discouraged, and more. We've all felt these emotions at some point in the workplace. Well, when I felt them and I was walking to my office or through a building, people noticed I walked differently. I walked hard. My steps hit the floor in short, loud pounds. What this caused was unknown to me at the time. My negative emotions came out in how I walked, and it caused team members to also feel negative emotions. Because if I, as the boss, was feeling negative emotions, then something was wrong and it was going to impact them negatively. People stopped working and started talking with each other to try and figure out what was the bad news. And here I thought I covered it up well because I walked to my office and I shut the door, but my walk gave it away. You see, it isn't always about what we say. It's about how we say it and our nonverbal cues when we say it. Another example, one of my leaders and I recently discussed the trajectory of our goals, and the future didn't look bright. I felt a sense of pressure and frustration that we were not on track. The future was not dismal, but it wasn't a done deal either, and there was work to do. As we discussed how to bring in our leadership team to this sense of urgency and new strategy, We also discussed the need to be more mindful how we presented the information. We agreed that if we lean into sense of urgency with pressure and anxiety, then we probably wouldn't get as much from the team. Rather, we needed to create a sense of urgency with positive emotions, with enthusiasm and energy to achieve, a can-do attitude. And we took it one step further. We both presented our part of the presentation to the other person so we could practice the emotions that came with the presentation. We were intentional about the impact of emotional contagion. Good news is the meeting went well. People are energized about how we can come together to reach our goals. So sometimes emotional contagion isn't just in the moment, but it's also planning and being proactive about what we might feel. So my walk was in the moment what I'm feeling that needed to be regulated. But this creating a sense of urgency with a positive spin was an intentional planning to be proactive about emotional contagion. Both of these approaches are needed. So I ask you, what is your give away that tells your team you have negative emotions? Is it the tone in your voice? Is it incessant detailed questions? Is it a glare with daggers from your eyes? We've seen this, right? What is your giveaway that tells your team you have positive emotions? Is it a friendly hello with a smile? Is it a high five or a fist bump? Is it a hand and arm gesture that invites openness and opportunity? How are you being intentional about emotional contagion with your team? I had to learn how to walk. It started with recognizing what I felt and an openness to hear others around me to learn how I lived out my emotions. I ask again, what do you need to relearn? What do you need to do more of or stop doing? At the end of the day, positive and negative emotions impact employee morale, employee satisfaction, employee retention, employee productivity. As a leader, you have to care, and it starts with you. I want to give you a couple of great resources to help you on this path. Brené Brown wrote the book Atlas of the Heart. She highlights about 80 emotions so that you can have a more thorough understanding of what you feel and why, and be able to name it. There is also an app called How Do We Feel? And it tracks your emotions, positive and negative, low and high energy, and it correlates them to people, places, and events so you can better understand patterns in your emotions. And I want to encourage you that if you have a great resource for how you develop self-awareness or self-monitoring your emotions and behaviors, please add it to the comments so that people can learn from you as well. Again, emotional contagion is real. Leaders must know what they are feeling, understand how the emotions are displayed to others so that they can regulate and monitor them. You can reach me at drjbt.leadership. That's drjbt.leadership@gmail.com. This is Dr. JBT signing off.